Sorry about that, y'all. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. We appreciate it. All right. How everybody doing? Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the hearts. We appreciate that. Another edition of Tuesday Talk tonight. We're about to get started in about 2 more minutes. We always give everybody a little time to join, and we're going to get started with tonight's topic.
Okay.
All right. What's going on? What's going on?
Thank
Hey,
you for
everybody.
the
Thank you for
hearts.
joining. Thanks for the hearts. We appreciate it. All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. All right. So let's get started. I am Reggie Reg, and we do this Tuesday Talk every week. I have my co-host with me,
Lola Pearl.
And on the phone back this week, we have K. Mitch. What's going on, K. Mitch? What's going on? For y'all that don't know, K. Mitch do this show with us also, Tuesday Talk. Y'all know K. Mitch a pretty busy businesswoman, womanpreneur and all that stuff, so she has some business affairs.
she left us for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, she has some business affairs going on. She all about inspiring the women and lifting them up and all that good stuff, but we definitely happy to have her back with us this week. K. Mitch, how you doing?
Yeah. What was the last thing you said, Reggie?
Look, pay attention, K. Mitch. Look, it's your first week back.
I'm very happy to be back and joining with my friends, talking about this very important matter.
Okay, what's going on, Keisha? All right, for those of you who don't know, thanks for joining the show. Welcome to Tuesday Talk. We do this every Tuesday. The reason that we do this is because we think it's an open forum. We pretty much just want to have open conversation, adult conversation, a respectable conversation. Right. We think talking can be therapeutic. We think it can be healing. So that's the reason we come in. We do this show every week. All right. So if you didn't watch the show last week, let me give you a little bit of a recap. We did this show called Do Black Lives Matter to Black People? The reason that we did that because we felt that there was so much going on in the black community, and we thought that we needed to shed a little bit of light on it, just our opinions. And that show got a lot of response.
Yes, it did. It did.
I had a lot of feedback from it. We had a lot of comments, and we felt like we might have left a few things unturned, a few stones unturned. Right. So we are doing part 2 tonight. Do Black Lives Matter to Black People? Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's a very important issue. So that's what we decided to start with. And this week we do have K. Mitch joining us. And what we need from you all is we really need you to engage in this show because this is a very important topic. Give your opinions. Make sure that you write in. If you're new to Periscope, this is how it works. You can tap anywhere on the screen. Give us hearts at any time that you like. You also can share it with your friends. Invite your followers to watch the show. You can share it on Facebook. You can also share it on Twitter. That's pretty much how it works. The topic for tonight is Do Black Lives Matter to Black People?
Yes.
Part 2. We're going to dig a little bit deeper.
So last week was pretty intense, so we had to, bring it up for another time.
They love your Marvel shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that, Miss KK. All right, so we're going to talk about that. So, Lola, do you feel like we left anything unturned? Was there anything more that you wanted to say? K. Mitch, I know you listening out there. I know that you watched the show last week, although you weren't able to join us. Do either of you ladies feel like that we need to talk a little bit more, or we left something unsaid from last week? And y'all out there, y'all can start with the comments. Y'all tell us. What we pretty much discussed is that, Black lives do matter. Right. They matter to Black people. It's a great movement, but we felt like, or me personally, I felt like that the movement can only be great if we put our all into it, and that we have to understand ourselves, Black Lives Matter. That's pretty much the recap of the show. Right. So I would like to hear, anything that you have to say, especially you also, K. Mitch, because you didn't get to weigh in, through the phone last week. So tell us your thoughts. What do you have to say about this?
Well, I still stand on what I said. Black lives does not matter to some Black people. And I think the whole thing of all lives matter, that is true, they do. But I think it's so relevant for us to talk about Black Lives Matter only because you really don't hear about Black police officers, killing young white kids and stuff like that. So we trying to bring everybody together, to get a resolution to stop this violence, and stop black on black violence, and just stop violence as a whole.
I agree. I think violence is a big issue out here, especially if you're in the Chicago community. It's a lot of going on here. I don't think violence is the only thing that needs to be involved in the Black Lives. Well, talking about violence is the only thing that needs to be involved in the Black Lives movement. Lady T say they're killing each other, so it's hard to say. So what do you mean? Who are they, Lady T? Tell us what you mean. They killing each other. What does that mean? Like, everybody love that shirt. There's J Square. What's going on?
Black people.
It's black people killing black people. So we need to get to the root of that problem, and
What I feel like is I feel like Black Lives Matter, and I'm for that cause. But really, I'm for all lives matter. And I feel like that black people have to, before I would jump and join a Black Lives Matter campaign, I feel like black people need to start showing themselves. We need to start showing each other first that Black Lives Matter before we can convince any other race that Black Lives Matter. So really, I feel like the Black Lives Matter campaign should be for the black people. And I know some people may not like what I'm saying, but that's how I feel about that. And, I just feel like that I'm not going to be the first one to jump on the Black Lives Matter campaign because are they showing? How are we showing other races that Black Lives Matter when
we don't?
Like Lady T said, we kill each other up. How is that showing other people that Black Lives Matter? Does it only matter when it comes to a white person, killing a black person? I'm not for it.
Let me say this, Kim. Let me say this, okay, Mitch. I agree with you 100%. I think that if you're going to try to do anything, if you're going to try to make any movement, first, whatever the reasoning behind it, people have to believe in it. And they have to see your vision. So if you're not clear on giving someone what the vision is, then it's hard for people to understand and follow you. So I agree 100%. Right. Let me just say this.
You got to lead by example. You got to also believe in what you're saying, and you got to be living what you're saying. You can't say all Black Lives Matter, but then, even for the ones who, let's say, maybe black people that's not part of the problem, that's out here just killing people and, doing stuff like that. But what about the ones that the ones who live by no snitching rule? You see
exactly
a person get gunned down, and you don't want to, tell because it's just the code of the street. Like, but I thought Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. So what you contradicting yourself?
It should go for all the way around the board.
So Jay,
I'm with you. I'm snitching too.
Look, J Square.
Me personally, I'm not jumping on that campaign, but I'm right now for all lives matter because that's the way I feel.
I agree.
I get why the movement is getting started, and not I just feel like I can't take it as serious until.
Black people realize Black Lives Matter.
So let me just address this because Mitch, we're getting a lot of people writing in, and this is what they're saying. They're saying that how we can't unite for ourselves, but pretty much we can unite for Paris. What do y'all think about that statement? I'm a little bothered by that statement actually.
What?
So go ahead.
I feel like I'm not gonna have anybody dictate who I send my prayers to. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and you have a lot of people saying yes, and I see a lot of yes on here. let me tell y'all something.
Okay, clear this up. Go ahead.
The whole Paris thing and Black Lives Matter are not one and the same. That's two different things. At the end of the day, those people over there lost their lives, and people keep saying, and they keep trying to relate the two. They keep saying, but we can't do this. We can't focus on Paris because we got people dying here. True. Don't disagree with that. But at the end of the day, I think I just feel like that you can show empathy to someone else and still support your own cause. So I don't necessarily agree with the comments that's coming in. Well, Lady T said pray for everyone, not just Paris. I don't disagree with that, Lady T. We are praying for everyone, but right now Paris is the one that's in the time of the need, so you make the prayer more like poignant. Right. Like, so it's not that you don't focus on Paris or that we shifted the focus to Paris. Right. Black lives can matter, Paris can matter, all lives can matter, and I think people get so confused or so irritated when something else happens and we say, It said we supposed to pray for the world in general.
At the
I
end
agree.
of the day, innocent people lost their lives. Like, that's crazy.
Nobody's praying for Kenya. Nobody. Are we for real? Like, you can't pray for Kenya.
Right.
Like, why? Why do you have to choose? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm for world peace. You know, that's what I'm for. I'm just not really with all the extra other stuff. Everybody want to go home.
But ladies, see, that's the problem. We have no unity as a whole. I agree that we don't have no unity, but when we do try to do something like decent, then we get criticized for that. When we try to do something for us, we get criticized for that. We can't criticize everyone all the time. At some point, we have to support each other. The reason that we keep having an issue, or the reason that we keep running into these problems and we have to even do this whole Black Lives Matter thing, is because we don't have the support behind each other. If I want to pray for Paris, let me. Support me. That's my business. And it don't mean that I'm not praying for...
I want to be able to pray for Paris. I just don't... I mean, that is just crazy to me.
That's true. I do believe that you...
thing about, you know, some people is upset because people are praying for Paris.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't...
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy to me as well, K-Mitch. I just brought that up because that was one of the comments that we saw. It say, don't pray for Paris, don't pray for Paris, pray for America. No, J Squared. Is that, okay, J Squared, why can't we pray for everybody? Why can't we pray for America? Why can't we pray for Paris? Like,
why we have to
That's
pray
crazy
for our,
to me.
our country or our race? Like, why? Who said that?
she said, because our stuff is messed up. We understand that our stuff is messed up. Let me tell y'all my biggest problem. My biggest problem is that the stuff that we don't want people to do to us, the reason that we have this whole Black Lives Matter movement is because we feel like we're being treated a certain way, because we feel like there needs to be an issue or some light spread on the thing, and then we go and do the same thing to someone else. So if we're talking about Black Lives Matter right now, and we're saying that we have this issue because we feel like we're being mistreated, then to go and say, well, don't pray for Paris because this is, we got our own issue. Well, isn't that the same thing or the same like message that we're trying to tell the world not to do? That's why we have this whole Black Lives Matter movement. Like, I just don't understand. You can't play both sides of the fence. Like, if you're gonna be behind the Black Lives Matter movement, then you have to understand that you have to support everything else as well as focus on the Black Lives Matter. Like, you know, people. I just get so confused.
Will we have to pick and choose? Like, I don't understand that.
Like, it just.
We gotta pick who we have compassion for. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Well, Cabby said our stuff is messed up, but what does our system have to do with innocent lives lost? I agree. I think our stuff is messed up as well, and I think what she's saying is that there's still innocent lives being lost over there. So can't we pray?
Exactly.
And I agree. I just been seeing a lot of that trending in social media, and it's the same people that's saying Black Lives Matter. Like, well, I understand Black Lives Matter, but do the lives in Paris not matter?
Evidently not.
That's what I'm saying. Why they making like one life is more important than another life?
I
You know
saw
what I'm saying?
some pretty.
That's to me what it comes across as. You know, you saying pretty much, oh, screw parents. You know, we need to put people over here. Like, why? Who said that? You know, this life is more important than that life over there. Why can't we? I feel like everybody's life is equally important. You know, like
It is.
I don't understand.
So do you think?
Understand where it's coming from.
Lady T is saying pretty much with the Black Lives Matter movement, we pretty much need to start reaching out to the youth. That's what she thinks will help be the biggest part of the solution. What do you all think about that?
I think so as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Lady T,
I think so.
But what do you do? Reaching out to the youth encompasses such a big thing. Like, what does that mean, reach out to the youth? People do feel like they're reaching out to the youth, and we still have this issue. So, I mean, if you can explain to us, what do you think that means? What did that mean to you all?
Just reaching out to these kids that don't have, you know, families. Even we talked about churches too. Churches getting more involved in it because I really don't see much of that as well.
Somebody said, get a belt.
Get an extension cord.
G. Chalmers says, gets a belt. You know what? I have a friend that believes, though, that stems or that promotes more violence. The fact that, actually a good friend, that feels like that because that's such our mentality, like, let's whoop them, that we're teaching violence. Do y'all agree with that?
I don't know. I don't believe.
No, because I think the kids that got their butt whooped back in the day.
See, so J Square just said the same thing.
I'm telling you, generation nowadays is out of control. And that's because they won't whoop no more. And I feel like back in the day when we all got our first toe up and generations on back, it was a lot better than it is today.
Well, yeah, I got my butt toe up with extension cord. I feel like I shouldn't have got whooped with extension cord, but I got my butt toe up.
Let me tell you two things that just came up.
I feel like I should have got whooped with extension cord.
Okay.
I feel like I shouldn't have got,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things coming up.
I think it's lacking discipline. Like, a lot of parents are not disciplining their kids. That's what.
Well, someone else just said the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people just said that. Some other things that's been coming up along the questions. Y'all really typing in tonight. But some other things that came.
Keep them coming.
We're reading what we can.
Really good points.
Yeah, you're making good points, and we're reading what we can catch. But some other things that came up is that they said that, like you all said, discipline the youth.
Right.
But there were a couple of people out there that agreed that the whooping does promote violence, and that's a problem too. One thing that I saw out there that pertains to the Black Lives Matter movement to me, and it really stands out, I preach this a lot, is mindset. Right. And I think mindset is huge. Another thing that came up that I saw flash across the screen was mentoring programs. I am huge on mentors. Yeah. I think that is one of the biggest solutions.
It is.
Because last week we talked about a lot of the problems, like the problems that we played. So I just want to touch on, I think one of the biggest solutions to the Black Lives Matter campaign, or to the youth period, because the youth is part of the problem.
Right.
I think mentoring programs are huge. Like, go out and they, Lady T said, go out and reach.
I think that's probably could be that can be a really big change.
I think that's it, right?
Just take those youth programs real serious. Actually, I was going to say, but I didn't get a chance to say that part. But I really think that those programs is very, very important. Remember, didn't they have a program? I don't know if it's still going on. How big it is nowadays, or it's not as big. But remember the Big Brother, Little Brother program?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So G. Thomas said we lost so many YMCA programs. Yeah. The boys, we lost so many programs. Yeah, let me tell you something. G. Thomas, I agree with that statement. But y'all, K. Mitch, Lola Pearl, y'all, I'm sure y'all already know what I'm gonna say because y'all know me well enough. The programs are not there. I don't think that we need someone to save us. We can be our own program. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem is that we rely so much on people to come in and save us as a whole, as black people. We look on them like we're almost like we want the world to be a crutch for us. We YMCA programs and all of the programs that were just mentioned, they're great programs. But why can't a K. Mitch go mentor someone? Why can't I go mentor someone? Why can't the people out there that's saying that we need these programs go mentor someone? Go find a kid. Go if you have kids, mentor the kids that you see in your kids' life. Like, we don't have to wait on a program to come in and save us. And that's what it is. Like last week, the thing was brought up that
the reason why I read programs is because you can't. Me personally, one person can't mentor hundreds of people like one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have some type of program backing you up where I can mentor 5 people or so at a time, but I cannot mentor hundreds of people. You can from afar, but like far as me just taking hundreds of people under my wing at a time and be able to be really like to work with them one-on-one. I can't do that.
You need some type.
No, I agree.
That's what the program is good for. It's the backing of multiple people doing this.
Mm-hmm. It is, but it is. But this is what I'm saying, K. Mitch. I agree with that statement 100%. I think the programs are needed. So I don't want anyone that's watching to feel like that I believe that the programs aren't beneficial. I think they're absolutely beneficial. But what I'm saying is, K. Mitch, you just said that you can mentor about 5 people. That's great. Lola can mentor about 5 people. I can mentor about 5 people. So why don't we collectively?
I'm saying at a time. I'm not saying like.
I know.
A lifetime.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying exactly. But what I'm saying is that 5 people at a time, that means something. So I'm saying, what if 100 of us mentor 5 people? They go 500 people right there. Mm-hmm. Then it grows bigger. That's what I'm saying. I think that with the programs, like once a program is there and it is great, but then once funding get cut, then we feel like that, okay, that has fallen by the wayside. No, let's continue with going, because mentoring programs are great.
I think, in our neighborhood, we had a program called No Dope Express.
I knew you were about to say that.
Come on. So I thought that was good. That was like an after-school program. We had mentors there. We had games. People who we can talk to, help everybody with their homework. that program is
So
closed.
basketball 2011 said that if the parents did their job, we wouldn't need mentors. What do y'all think about that?
If parents,
He said that if the parents did their job, then we wouldn't need mentors. What do you think about that?
I think parents need to do their job, and
there's a lot of people saying I agree.
I think parents need to do their job.
I think that the
sometimes
parents
you need help.
definitely started at home, absolutely.
Exactly.
But I don't think that it stops there.
I agree. I disagree. I disagree with the statement.
Agree. Role model at home. Doesn't mean that you have a mentor too outside of the home. So I don't think that parents would be needed.
Go ahead.
The parents would be better. I just think that the parents have to do better regardless. But I don't think having a mentor and good parents would be.
They're saying that the parents are supposed to do their job. They're putting it all on the parents. Let me just say, y'all got kids out there. I got kids. Y'all got. Everybody has kids. I totally disagree with that statement. I think that it does start at home.
Exactly. Okay.
But to say that we don't need mentors, that's extreme to me. And nothing against you, basketball 2011.
It started at home, but you definitely still ain't no wrong with
you still need mentors.
And I'm not saying nothing against you to basketball 2011 because everyone has their opinion.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying is to say that you don't need a mentor means that you about to raise this kid all by yourself, and I think that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I have a kid, and if but if my kid is around my friends or my family member, I expect them to be some type of role model for them or some type of mentor because I can't do it all. And the fact that I know I can't do it all as a parent, then I'm smart enough, wise enough to know that I need a little help. But it's not to say that I'm not going to do my job at home, but you should have a mentor in your life. I think grown people should have mentors, not just kids.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was raised with good parents, but I always deal with I had mentors. So honestly, I don't think having a mentor if you have good parents.
I don't think anything is wrong with it at all.
Yeah, I was just surprised to see all of the comments that was like, yes, the parents. Well, some of y'all are great parents out there, but y'all kids are acting up. Like you can't do it. You can't do it all.
Some parents are really good parents, but sometimes they bump heads with their kids, so their kids need somebody else to talk to. So
and it said, he says a mentor should not be deciding the factor when if a child turns out to be successful. I agree with that. That's not what I mean by mentor. I mean in addition to one. And he said everyone needs a variety of influence. Okay, you done brought me back in basketball 2011. I'm back with you now. Okay, because I understand that now. I'm back with you. I do. I thought you were saying they don't need a mentor and the parent was going to do it all because you have to have some type of influence outside of the parents. Because let's be honest, we've all been kids before. Our parents can tell us anything.
Just so you feel more comfortable. You're not going to be comfortable telling your parents one.
That's exactly what I was just saying.
Everything. That's what a mentor kind of come in at, So I think a mentor is still great with or without great parents. I just think it's very, imperative to everyone should have some type of mentor.
And maybe these kids won't be going. Maybe these kids won't turn to the gang and stuff like that if they had a mentor or somebody who can help them.
Right.
Well, G. Thomas just said her son is a whole ass. That's why she involved her family and everybody.
Okay, come on now.
That's it right there, though, G.
That's
Thomas.
Good parenting. That's good parenting.
That's great parenting. You got to know what your kid is because there's too many parents out here. We're talking about Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. There's too many parents out here that are thinking that their kids are saints, and those are the kids that's out here that's causing all the ruckus and all the problems and everything. Yeah, and that's the reason that we got to have a whole Black Lives Matter movement. Absolutely. So, G. Thomas, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Mm-hmm. If you know your kid is a whole ass, accept it and make some people come in and help you with them. So and that's the way that we become better.
Exactly.
They say, I know that's right. You talking little whole ass out there.
Okay, I like her.
Because that's the truth. Did you know people disregard what their kids are? Like, you just can't do it on their own.
When they kids, something happens to their kid, they get on TV. Oh, my child was this, saying he didn't do this or that. Like, stop playing with me.
I don't know if I want to open it.
Like, stop playing with me. What you gonna say? I don't know. Stop playing with me, though. Like, stop playing with me. Your child is not innocent.
I don't.
Stop playing with me. I can't stand that, but go ahead.
Because
I got off into something else.
I don't disagree with the statement because you're right. Like, They say last. That's the pro. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Lola. But that's what we're talking about. Black Lives Matter. They say I can't. She said I can't make excuses for him. One day he's going to be a man, and I pray that he's going to be a good one. You're absolutely right, and that's why I'm saying right there, G. Thomas. If you're onto something, then you got to grab other parents and make them understand that mindset, because people brought up the idea of mindsets. People mindsets have to change. So G. Thomas, when you're on to something, then you have to talk to another parent who may not absolutely believe that they need some help with their kid when they know that he's already out of control. That's the only way that the Black Lives Matter movement will work, is if we all support each other and if we all contribute to another black life.
Exactly.
Right.
So they say that's good, G. Thomas. Keep up the good work. I agree, G. Thomas. I think you're on to something. They say, because it does take a village. You're absolutely right.
We talked about that a couple of episodes.
Exactly. It definitely takes a village. Like somebody just said about even the church, Felicia, right? You know, even the churches. That's all that play a role into raising kids. All of that. It takes a village. Absolutely.
It does. But do y'all feel like that the kids are the biggest problem in the Black Lives movement? Do you believe that, because we're talking about solutions, we switched it to kind of solutions because we talked about problems last week. So do you believe that if we fix the kids, then we are halfway to fixing the problem?
If we fix the parents.
There's a lot of people saying yes. J Square.
If we fix the parents and fix the kids,
So you think if we fix the parents and then we fix the kids, then that's the problem? The kids are out of control.
We need to focus on the kids. The parents are already grown and they don't do what they want to do. Let's focus on these kids. That way, shit can happen. Maybe if we focus on the kids is the future. Focus on the kids and a shift can happen, you know. And you say, you know, I think that things could be so much better in the black community. In the black community, I really do. If we just focus more so on these kids.
So someone said when you say kids, with creative PCS said, when you say kids, what age are you talking about? So what do y'all think it starts at?
Well, now it's starting young.
J Square said J Square said under 18. Do you all agree with that?
Way younger than that, yeah.
The kids are imitating these bad parents.
And that's what I was saying. It's starting with these parents first. Then we have to get the mindset with these parents. Then they have to start raising their kids the right way.
They said,
I'm serious.
Somebody just
right. It's these parents. It's these parents.
But somebody just said when we were growing up that we didn't have half of the killings that we had this time. Do y'all believe that? Because I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think we come from a rough area, and I think well, they said we didn't have as many killings as when we were kids. I don't know if I agree with that.
I think it's true. I don't think it was. Yeah, it's true.
It wasn't that much.
I
think back then. Of course.
I don't think it was as bad as it is now.
No, absolutely not.
I think that we had a fair amount of killings. I think the gangs were real bad when we were growing up. I think that the only difference is that it's so amplified now with social media, and it's such a a microscope on it that the awareness is so heightened that you can see it a lot more. Because we grew up rough. I think, Go ahead, K. Mitch.
Oh yeah, I don't think so, because wasn't Chicago the murder capital of the world maybe like a couple years ago? I don't know. Is Chicago still the murder capital of the world?
Per capita, I think you're right. I think we have the most murders per capita.
But remember, K. Mitch, growing up, coming down the street, we saw gangs, but we saw them outside fighting. Like, we didn't see no killing, shooting, and all. We didn't see that.
Still going on, but I'm saying for it to become the murder capital of the world, obviously you got worse.
I think so as well.
I mean, it is worse. I'm not saying that it's not bad at all, and I think that it is a problem. I just think it's a little bit more amplified now. It's such on a like.
Is true.
I think the media, when we talk about Black Lives Matter, I think the media also plays a huge issue and part of the problem, and that's why I said last week that we have to make sure that we promote our own positive image, and that's why I'm so.
The media is a big part of the problem. We've always known that.
That's why I'm so.
The media always been part of the problem.
Absolutely.
The thing is that we know that, so we have to do better because we know what they're doing. You know, they say when you know better, you'll do better. So now you got to do better because we know what's happening. We know what the media is doing.
I agree 100% with that statement, K. Mitch. I think that the fact that we know that this is what the media are doing, then it's imperative that we just create a positive image. That's why I'm so big on it. I keep saying, let's have some self accountability. That's what I think the biggest. That's what I think the biggest issue to the Black Lives Matter problem is. That's what I think, not the issue, I'm sorry. That's what I think the biggest solution to the Black Lives Matter problem. Once we start accepting a little or having a little self-accountability, I think from there we can change mindsets. From there we can raise the kids better. From there we can teach people how to be better parents. Because right now there's so much of, I don't know if we don't think, or we haven't come to the fact or to the realization that we're playing a part of the problem too. Exactly. So once we change the mindset, I think that we're able to go on and fix everything else. I think the kids are great. Mentioning the kids or bringing them up, I think that's a great idea. I think bringing up the parenting styles is a great idea. But I still don't think that even if you attack all of that, if you don't have the right mindset, all of those things go in vain. So I think that we have to have a shift in the mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right.
We have to do better.
I think that's what part of. Good job. Thanks, Nakai. I appreciate that. Thanks for the heart.
Sweet.
So if you're just joining, we're talking about the Black Lives Matter movement. This is a continuation of last week. Last week we talked about if the movement, if we play a part, do Black Lives Matter to Black people. I think this week we're a little bit more focused on the solution to the problem. So the two are kind of meeting in the middle tonight, and make sure that you are joining in and giving your comments. I love this show. Thanks, J Squared. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you're new to the show, if you don't watch Periscope, tap anywhere to give us hearts. Make sure that you're engaging in the conversation. The only way that we can get better is if you're engaging. Like, our opinions are our opinions, but your opinions are important together. And we're talking about solutions. I think that this is a great solution as well. Talking about things, getting other people's viewpoint. People get so gun-ho on what they believe and what they feel. You don't always have the right answer. So make sure that you haven't become to the point to where you can't learn anymore. People get so, I'm so grown, or I'm grown, you can't tell me nothing. No, that's the wrong mindset. We're talking about mindsets. Make sure you never get to the point to where you stop growing. Yes, you didn't raise kids. Yes, you have your own kids. All of that is fine and dandy, but we're talking about a solution to this issue. Make sure that you're educating yourself. Education is not only going to sit in someone's school. Read a book. Talk to someone who's wiser than you. Surround yourself with people that can help bring you up. All of that. When you do those type of things, that's how we move forward. And that's what people have to understand.
Right.
So, Basketball 2011 said, why are the games? Why are we killing each other? What is the root to the problem? That's a good question. You got the answer on Basketball 2011? It's a great question. I don't know what.
I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out.
It's a great question. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why we're having a conversation today, is we're trying to figure out the root cause. I agree, J Squared. There have always been gangs. The problem is that I think in the initial beginning of the games were more focused on the black movement, and now it's turned into gang against gang, and there's just so much.
But it's like, how did that happen? Like, if it was supposed
J Square said the same thing. They were helpful back in the day. I do think they were helpful back in the day. I don't think the initial beginning of the games, like if you ever seen like any documentaries or anything, they were there to pretty much promote or like try to move the black race forward, and now it's then turned into something different. But I think that the origination of the gangs though had good intention. Right. Because gangs are all back in the day when you have the Black Panther movement and all of those type of movements. It was when people were being taught.
Remember gangs too? How a lot of young kids joined gangs back in the day because they felt like they wanted somebody to look up to, or they wanted to feel like they said they was missing something in their life, like a family or a father figure, and they would latch on to these older men in the neighborhood that wasn't the best influence, but they felt like they was joining something, or they was a part of a family, or they wanted somebody to look up to, or it just wasn't choosing the right people. But that's where a lot of people were joining gangs for back in the day. It was really for the whole,
Well, I think K. Mitch, I
Good
think
but not good.
I think K. Mitch, you might have just answered his question. He said, "What's the root cause?" Then that may just very well be the root cause is that they're looking for something and they don't have that mentor, they don't have that prominent figure in their life, so they turn to a gang. And that's why I say we have to do our jobs to make sure that we get to them before the gangs get to them, because the gangs are sending them off, and maybe we can be their mentor and change their mindset before it becomes too late. Because someone said under 18, I think it's really hard to change a mindset at 18. When you're 18 years old, you feel like you know it all. You feel like you have all the answers. You've grown, and you don't really want to hear what an adult have to say. So we have to start really young.
Yeah, you got to start real young on that one.
Right.
Y'all so childish out there, J Square.
That's why people was joining gangs. They want to feel like they're a part of something. Or they just choosing the wrong people to latch on to, or But the reason why they was doing this was, I understand the reason, but they were just choosing the wrong crowd, the wrong people, the wrong leaders, the wrong mentors.
Right. I want to know, since when the gangs have started out, it's supposed to be like a positive thing. How did it turn negative? Like, how did it go from being positive of movement to it just being negative?
Well, I think anything can turn negative if you don't have the right leaders in place. I'm sure leaders changed, and they had a different idea.
Violent or.
Absolutely, they wanted to go in a different way. Everybody want to steal somebody's thunder. So when you get a new leader, leaders always come in and they say, "I'm gonna do it this way," or "I think this idea." So over the time, I think that the idea of what it was has shifted.
Leading by a good person, then you gonna always have some bad seats somewhere, and then the bad seats are like, "Hey, I'm gonna do it this way, and if I ain't gonna do it this way, I'm gonna go ahead and start my own over here," and that's how it can start too.
Because Taria T just said, because everybody wants to be in charge.
Competition.
Taria T is absolutely right. She said everybody wants to be in charge. That's it right there. That'll change anything. When everybody have the mindset, everybody ain't built to be a leader. Exactly. Everybody thinks they're a leader, but some people are just made to follow. And I'm sorry if that's your life, and I'm sorry if you're that person, but some people are just made to be followers. Everybody can't be the leader. And you can maybe grow into a leader, but you have to understand your time, your place, and your position. If it's your season to follow, then be a follower. That's what it got to be. Like,
it's not funny, but it's so true.
Like, that's what it is.
So
like,
true. That's true.
Because what happens is that when you allow people that shouldn't be a leader to be a leader, they lead people in the wrong direction, and then something that was meant for good turns around for bad because the leadership isn't right. And that's what happens. So J Square said, "I'm a leader." The jury's still out, J Squared. I don't know. I'm just playing. Look, everybody. Look, that's my point. That's my point right there. If you're reading the comments, every comment said, "Because I'm a leader. I'm a leader. I'm a leader." Everybody that's watching this broadcast ain't a leader. I'm sorry.
But are you being real with yourself?
I'm sorry to tell y'all, it's just not the truth.
Not everybody is a leader.
It's the truth. I'm sorry. Like, that's the problem, is that nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody can tell you anything about yourself. What makes you a leader?
Everybody just follow. Everybody just wants to be a leader.
Let me tell you something. If everybody is on a leader, if everybody is a leader on this broadcast right now, y'all got the answer to this problem. Okay. Y'all know what the solutions is. So please start with the solutions, because I'm trying to figure it out, like what we need to do. So please, tell us what the solutions are. Everybody is just not a leader. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you can learn to be a leader, but that doesn't mean that you're a leader right now.
Right, I agree. Right.
Let me tell you something. When people are leaders, they can get other people to buy into a vision. They inspire people. They can get people to latch on to something that the person may have never believed in from the very beginning. So that is what the true sign of a leader is. So when everyone's out there, people listen to you. You command a presence. So for everyone out there that's saying that they're a leader, if you're doing all those things, then maybe you are a leader. But if you don't have anyone following you and you're just saying that you're a leader just because that's what you believe, you might want to reassess the situation. And that's what you just said.
I agree.
Some people have to follow first and then become a leader. Absolutely right, Taria T. Absolutely right. The comments have dried up. Nobody don't want to hear that.
They tapped out.
Nobody didn't want to hear that part of the
I
broadcast.
guess
Look, I'm gonna say whatever I feel. Like I said,
Hey,
it's
sometimes truth hurts.
It does.
I mean, sometimes you got to say certain things to certain people that they may not want to hear.
absolutely. And
It's
like I
our
said,
life.
I'm not telling you nothing about your life. You know what you are. If I'm not talking to you, then I'm not talking to you. Don't take it personal. But what I am gonna give is I'm gonna give my honest opinion, and you're more than welcome to give your honest opinion. This isn't about disrespecting anyone. It's about moving us forward. And sometimes when you move us forward, you have to speak the unadulterated truth. And that's what I feel like I'm gonna do.
There it is.
Right, I agree. And I honestly, Reginald, I like for people to tell me the truth because I feel like that helps me grow. I'm open-minded. I can take constructive criticism. I may not like it at the time, but best believe I would hang up that phone or I would walk away from that meeting or wherever, and I would definitely think about what you said, and I would, it's a good chance I would come back and tell you was right if I heard that, and, I would work on that. So, honestly, I like for people to tell me the truth. I mean,
Me
even though the
too.
truth hurts and nobody wants to.
I don't care if it hurt.
I feel the truth definitely helps someone grow. It helps me grow, at least.
Absolutely. Someone said be your own leader, and sometimes you have to let people follow your example. I agree. You do have to let people follow your example. But the reason that I brought that up about people being leaders is because if no one's following your example, at some point you have to look back and see who's following. If nobody's not following you, then you're not as great of a leader as you thought you were. So when you're saying that people should follow you, make sure you have a following, and then you can say how great of a leader you are.
That was well put.
Well, thank you.
I like that.
Well, thank you.
I like that.
To really say
Yeah.
true. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. And
I just feel like at this point, we got to start getting down to the solution, and let's just start working on it. I'm just at that point. I'm just tired of everybody's opinions, and I just want to get to a solution so we can start. So I want to start helping. I want to start playing a positive role.
Right.
Really start playing my part. I should say to help change this, or
Give
really
back, yeah.
Okay, Mitch, and I think we were talking about shifts earlier tonight. I think that's where you have shifted to, and that's what I was saying, that the mindset is so important, because that's the place that I am. I think that's the place that Lola is. I think a lot of people on the broadcast, that's the place that they are as well. So I think that once you have that shift in the mindset, that's when the solution starts to come in. Because you just said a mouthful, okay, Mitch. You said you want to start helping them, like you want to start helping people. You want to play your part. That's key right there. That's what I'm saying. Everyone has a part to play, and that's why I always counteract, or I always debate the fact when people say we don't have the programs. We don't, and I agree, the funding is not there, but that doesn't mean that your part goes in vain. You still have a part to play.
Right.
If we're gonna ever be successful in this movement, if we're gonna ever move forward, because let's be honest, people, like we're doing stuff, or we're talking about things that should already be solved. This is the stuff that Martin Luther King fought for.
Yes.
This is the people the things that Rosa Parks fought for, and now we're revisiting it all the way in 2015, and we still have to make people believe that Black Lives Matter.
That's
And the reason that we have to do that is because we haven't fully done our part yet. So if we're talking about solutions, I think in a nutshell, the solution is play your part.
It's just as simple. Play your part. Yep.
And I think that'll help to begin to make a shift in the atmosphere.
Right, exactly. It's time for that shift, and I'm ready for it, honestly. Because I'm just sick of the stuff that's going on around me. Honestly, I'm sick of it.
I am too.
Taria T say, "Yep, simple. I'm sick of it too." You know what? I put a status on Facebook the other day, and I actually just wrote the status, and I said the status said that sometimes getting to the point to where enough is enough just might be the best thing that ever happens to you. And K. Mitch just said, "I'm sick of it," and that's the place that you have to get to when we're talking about the Black Lives Matter movement. You have to get to the place to where you're disgusted. You have to get to the place to where you can't take no more. And if enough of us get to that place, then collectively we can start to make a dent in what the problem is.
Get a solution
That's what it is right there.
I don't want to see another Kaylin. What was the girl? Kaylin
Pryor.
I don't want to see another Kaylin Pryor get gunned down again. Like, I'm sick to my stomach about it.
Yeah,
I
because
am like sick.
I mean, that's an aspiring model. No gang ties.
Right.
Just standing on the bus trying to go back home,
Right.
and she's shot down. Like, for what? We aren't letting the people live. Like that. That's really tough. Like like her life is cut in half over some stupid violence out in the streets. It's nonsense, absolutely. And people don't understand that, you're out here taking innocent lives. These people have prominent futures. These people are next doctors and lawyers. These people are the next people to move us forward, and you're cutting their lives short, or you're cutting their lives, you're making their lives premature, ending their lives prematurely, and for no reason at all. And
that's not right. Just because you don't love yourself, why go out and kill other people? Like, kill,
Do you think
I hate to be mean, like, I don't want to say kill yourself, but, do something.
Do you think, let me ask you this, because you brought up a good point, and you too, K. Mitch, and you all as well out there. Lola just brought up a point, or she just made a statement that said, if you don't love yourself. Do you all think that is part of the problem? Do you think that the people who are out here acting up, or the people that are playing a bad part or the negative part in the Black Lives Matter movement, is it because they don't love themselves?
They don't, because if you're doing stuff like that, you gonna end up in jail. I mean, that's just stupid to me. I don't think you love yourself.
But could it just be that
not.
they're misguided, though?
I mean, that too, and you don't love yourself. You don't.
I think that's true. I think I think for a lot of them, yes.
Yeah, everyone out there says, no self-love.
A lot of them don't love themselves.
They
don't have people to love them.
Well,
I think.
Sweet Cinnamon says that they're lost. And lack of a conscience, and that they don't love themselves. I think
I don't think so.
It's a lot of black people that lack confidence to leave. But but society has placed insecurity in us. I think that's a great statement.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the name, but I think society has placed a lot of insecurity in us. But I don't think that.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's been from the beginning of time, like all the way back to slavery. But we have to understand that we're stronger beyond our imaginations. We have to understand ourselves.
And a lot of them don't know that.
They don't, but how do you teach that?
It starts from home.
How do you think you teach that, K. Mitch? You think it starts from home? I think everything starts from home. Absolutely.
A lot of stuff starts from home.
Yeah, it definitely starts at home. Absolutely.
All right. So, any last thoughts on this issue? You weighing your last thoughts? We're about to get ready to wrap it up. K. Mitch, any last thoughts on this? Any last thoughts from you, Lola?
The only thing I can just really say is I just wish people would just talk less and show more. More action, everybody could. It starts with us. Remember when we was on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and I just said that if everybody was just work on themselves, then how much the world would just be a better place. You don't even got to go out. Let's just say you don't even go out and help nobody, but you work on yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm saying if everybody just did that, that's the very minimum. If everybody just worked on themselves, just try to extend a hand to someone else, or be kind to people,
absolutely.
And stop judging. I mean, I just wish that keep a little if you can, which is whatever. I wish everybody just play, like I said, or at the very minimum, just change your ways, change your thinking. I think that it makes such a difference, and I just that's really
Mitch, that was a great point.
I think that's a great point as well.
So much. And start showing more.
I think stop talking, show more. And she also said to pretty much, it starts with you, pretty much. What do you think, Lola?
I agree.
What do you think is one of the solutions? Like, what do you think?
More so piggyback off of what she said. It start with yourself. Then once you fix yourself, you can fix other people. Help, other people as well.
And I think for me, and I'm going to say this, I'll probably say this as long as we do the show, have a little self-accountability. Mm-hmm. Understand the part that you play in any issue, because that's how you start with change. Change is huge. Change is a big thing, and it's extremely hard when you don't understand the part that you play in something, or when you haven't took some time to examine yourself. So for me, when we're talking about this Black Lives Matter movement, and we're talking about the solutions, I think that you just have to have a little self-accountability. Because if you have some self-accountability, I do believe that you'll be better parents. I think that kids will be better kids. I think that we'll be better brothers and sisters. I think we'll be better to each other because we'll understand how what we do affects so many other people around us. I always say that, people don't understand that the lives that they live are connected to so many other people. So if it's like this, like K. Mitch is out there being a womanpreneur right there. If she hadn't started that or got to the point to where she decided that I'm about to go on this journey, there's so many other women behind her that might not have been on their journey. So we have to understand that we're connected to other people as well in our life. Exactly. So if you start, like Hamish said, if you start with yourself, and then what I'm saying is have a little self-accountability, then from there I think that we can start on this whole Black Lives Matter movement. And I think that the solution will be a little bit easier. That's it for me right there. Just have a little self-accountability.
Right.
Thank you all for joining tonight.
Thank you so
We're pretty much about
much.
to wrap it up. Like I said, we do this every Tuesday. Invite your friends and tell someone about the show. This show is called Tuesday Talk. Lola, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Periscope as well.
K. Mitch, where can the people find you?
Periscope, Instagram, Twitter, I am K. Mitch, Facebook, K. Mitch.
And before I tell you where to find me at, I just want to let y'all know we do a show every week, and we do this show pretty much to be to give our opinions on things, but more importantly to bring awareness to certain issues. So you all watch the show every week. If you have any topics that you want us to talk about, please feel free to let us know, and you can let me know at the same place where you can find me, and that is at Live to Contribute, and I am Live to Contribute, LIVE to Contribute, the number 2, on Periscope, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me in all of those places. Make sure that if you have something that you feel like it is really important to us, something that we need to talk about,
let's talk about
send
it.
us a message, and we'll make sure that we bring it up on the show and we'll talk about it. Until next week, y'all, until the next edition of Tuesday Talk, make sure you build someone up instead of tearing them down.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank y'all. Have a good
Peace.
one.